Alright guys, time for me to give you the review for Animal House. Oh, I'm sorry. No, wrong movie. Meant to say Neighbors. I don't know why I said that. Anyway guys, hey there, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with another movie review. Guys, the summer movie season continues. We are in week 2, second week of May. And this week, we have a new comedy film that has just come out in the theaters. And in this video, guys, I am going to be reviewing Neighbors. Neighbors stars Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne, Zac Efron, Dave Franco, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and a whole bunch of other actors playing a lot of young college frat boys. And Neighbors, guys, when I first watched the trailer for it, I actually said to myself, not only does the movie look kind of funny, but I actually like where they're going with the premise of the movie. I liked how they were taking the idea of you have a college fraternity moving in next door to a young couple with a baby, and you know, the fraternity obviously is going to be a major you know, distraction. They're going to be completely noisy, they're going to throw rowdy parties, and I thought that was actually a pretty cool idea, because we've had wild college fraternity movies before. Obviously the most famous one being National Lampoon's Animal House. Came out in the 1970s. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out right now. Without a doubt, one of the best comedies ever made. And I understand why a lot of people would have been saying, oh, this movie looks like it's just going to be another one of those, you know, Animal House, Van Wilder, college frat boy movies. But it's not. It's its own type of movie, and that's why I was looking forward to seeing it, because I thought it was going to be different from what, you know, the majority of people might have been expecting with the movie. But Neighbors, after watching it, guys, I gotta say, it was pretty entertaining. It actually got a few laughs out of me. It was enjoyable. I had a fun time watching it in the end. There are a few flaws I had with the movie, but overall I would say it was a pretty good, enjoyable summer movie. It's one of those movies you go to, it came out just the right time. You go to the theater, you sit back, relax, get a few laughs out of you, you have a few snacks, and there you go. You'll enjoy the hour and a half at the movie. So, real quick, guys, let's get into the review for Neighbors, and I'm going to get into the plot of the movie. Now, like I said, you have a young, happy couple. They just had a baby, like a 6-month-old baby, who was actually kind of adorable in the movie. I gotta say, I liked that. But the couple is played by Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. And they're enjoying their lives as parents now, but they have a house next door that is for sale, and a college fraternity ends up buying the place, and they move in next door and become Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne's new neighbors. And at the head of this college fraternity is none other than Zac Efron. He's the president. And of course, as soon as this fraternity moves in, Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne get concerned, because a fraternity usually ends up equaling large, very loud, noisy parties that will probably keep them up all night long and ruin their chances of getting a good night's sleep. So, immediately, that is exactly what happens. As soon as the fraternity moves in, the parties just stop, and they're non-stop. They're literally every single night. It's starting to irritate Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne to the point where they want to get this fraternity to leave the neighborhood or get kicked out of the house. And simultaneously, Zac Efron is aware that, you know, they're trying to sabotage the fraternity. So Zac Efron tries to sabotage Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. He wants to get them to move out of the neighborhood. And soon it becomes a war between this very happy family and this very large fraternity for, I guess, dominance of the neighborhood, basically, to stay in the neighborhood, basically. So that is the premise behind Neighbors, and it's actually a very interesting premise, and it's not just one of those wild college party movies where the college kids are just pointless, you know, their characters aren't fully developed or anything. Something I liked about the fraternity in this movie is that the main fraternity characters, namely Zac Efron, Dave Franco, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, they aren't just there for the sake of being loud and noisy and, you know, disruptive of their neighbors. They actually have a purpose for throwing all these parties, which is introduced, which is explained in the beginning of the movie, and I actually liked that about the movie. I thought that was pretty cool, that this fraternity actually had meaning. They wanted to do something legendary to make themselves well known, for future fraternity members. And that is something I did like about the plot, other than the fact that this movie actually generated a few laughs from me. Not only, I chuckled mostly in the movie. When I mean chuckles, like a few light chuckles, like I'm like, that's kind of funny. And I had a few really good laughs in the movie, and that's what I ended up enjoying about Neighbors. It's not just a movie, it definitely has comedy, it definitely has the humor that I was looking for, and I was very pleased with that in regards to the movie. Now, getting into the cast, like I said, a lot of the critics who have seen the movie early have been praising the cast for the movie, and we have Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne playing the couple, and a lot of people aren't too huge a fan of Seth Rogen. They feel that Seth Rogen is too Seth Rogen-ish, with his mannerisms and his laugh, and a lot of people aren't fans of Seth Rogen's movies, so I can understand that, I guess. I personally never hated Seth Rogen. I always thought he was a pretty funny, likable guy, and he more or less plays a similar character in this movie. He's got his voice and his mannerisms and his kind of laugh. He really didn't do the laugh too much in the movie, though. But I thought he was good in the movie. The plans that he concocts with Rose Byrne I thought were pretty genius, and you could tell he just is trying to get this fraternity to quiet down, and he doesn't want them to disturb his life with his wife. And I enjoyed Seth Rogen in the movie. Now, Rose Byrne, a lot of people have been praising Rose Byrne in this movie. She's a very attractive actress, especially in this movie. And I thought she was really good in the movie. One minor nitpick I have about Rose Byrne is the fact that her accent in the first two scenes was American, and the rest of the movie it's Australian. I don't know why it was American in those first two scenes and not fully Australian in the whole movie. That's just minor nitpick I had. Now, Zac Efron is playing the lead president of the fraternity, and I've never been a huge Zac Efron fan personally. He's been with the High School Musical movies. That's great for him. I've never been a huge Zac Efron fan. And when I heard he was going to be in the movie, I said to myself, oh, Zac Efron, alright. But I gotta say this much about Zac Efron. He was actually very likable in this movie, it was kind of like his charm, and the fact, like I said earlier, that the fraternity actually had a purpose for their parties, and they wanted to make themselves well known in the university in regards to all the fraternity members. And they actually had a purpose, and Zac Efron was pretty good in the movie, I gotta say. I enjoyed his presence on the screen, even though I'm personally not a fan of his. He was pretty good in the movie. Now, Dave Franco, real briefly, I've never been a huge Dave Franco fan. Never personally cared for the guy. He was in movies like 21 Jump Street and, what else? Warm Bodies, and I just never cared for him in those movies. He was actually pretty good in this. This is one of his better roles. Like I said, he had a pretty decent chemistry with Zac Efron and the rest of the fraternity boys. I think the whole fraternity had pretty good chemistry. And I thought he was more enjoyable in this and less annoying. So I gotta give Dave Franco that. And the rest of the cast was great. Seth Rogen has a friend in this movie. I forget who the actor is. He's been in several spoof movies, like Scary Movie, Meet the Spartans, whatever. And I thought he was pretty funny in this movie. He stole almost every single scene he was in. And I gotta give that to whoever played Seth Rogen's friend. And that's really all I have to say about the cast, guys. Now, I think I'll get into the rating for Neighbors. I gotta say, I enjoyed the movie. It's one of those summer comedies you go to. It came out at just the right time of the year. Earlier in the year, you may remember it by the end of the summer, you may not. You go into the movie, you enjoy it for the laughs that are present in the movie, the story that is entertaining, and the performances, and that is what you take out, what you take from Neighbors. And in the end, after having seen the movie, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was pretty darn enjoyable, despite for a few minor flaws I had with the movie. It's like a B+ grade for me. I enjoyed it overall. So getting to the things of the movie that I liked, like I said, the performances were good. There were, like I said, Zac Efron actually wasn't, annoying. He wasn't just that, annoying fraternity leader in the movie. He actually had a purpose, like I said, and he was very charismatic, and I liked his, he was very likable in the movie, as were the rest of the actors, in my opinion. I thought the movie was pretty well directed, definitely well written. Like I said, it's not just one of those wild college fraternity movies with no purpose whatsoever. It actually has a point, and it's actually not annoying. The humor isn't annoying. I thought the screenplay was pretty decent. The dialogue between characters was pretty funny overall. The scenes between Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne were pretty entertaining. So definitely gotta applaud the writing. I really liked the party scenes and the soundtrack for the party scenes. I thought they got good music for those party scenes. And I liked how the party scenes, you know, they were set in like this neon lighting, and I thought that was all pretty cool and interesting. Really liked that about the movie. And finally, getting into the comedy. This movie is a comedy. You're going to this movie for laughs, and in the end, I ended up laughing in more scenes than I didn't end up laughing, and that is something I did enjoy about the movie. It was definitely entertaining in that sense that it did make me laugh in several scenes, and it was funny. There are a lot of really good pop culture references in the movie. There are a lot of great TV references. Like I said, I love whenever a comedy throws in pop culture references. I find that to be very, very funny. I don't know, I like that. And I chuckled in a lot of scenes, and I laughed in a couple scenes as well. I didn't, you know, gut-bustingly laugh my butt off in every single scene, but you know what? Not every comedy is going to have a gut-bustingly hilarious scene. Now, getting into a few minor problems I have with the movie. The movie is not a bad movie. It's actually very entertaining, and that's why I ended up enjoying it. I wanted to see how the movie would conclude, who was going to win the neighborhood, the couple or the fraternity. And in the end, I was pleased with the results. But as for the flaws I had with the movie, I feel that, like every comedy, kind of like how I felt with This Is the End, even though This Is the End was probably a little bit better, some of the scenes, the comedy is there, and you could tell the writers probably didn't know what to put in those scenes in regards to the comedy, and they didn't really know what to say or anything, and there were a few scenes where the comedy just didn't really hit all the jokes didn't really hit for me. There were a few scenes where the jokes were a hit, and there were a few scenes where the jokes were a miss, and that's just how I felt. There were a few scenes where you could tell they were trying to get you to laugh, but me and my whole audience just didn't end up laughing. But there were a few scenes that we actually did enjoy laughing. But, like I said, the movie isn't entirely gut-bustingly funny. It's not a non-stop laugh riot, which is why I gotta take a few points off. Also, like I said, the thing with Rose Byrne, her accent was a little off. That bothered me a little bit. The ending of the movie, too, was a little... was odd, in my opinion. Not the ending as in general. The last scene in the movie was odd. I don't know why they used that scene to end the movie. That could have been in the middle of the movie. You guys will know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie, but that's just how I felt with that. That was just... It was a funny scene, but it was a weird way to end the movie. It wasn't... I don't know. It's like they ran out of, you know, an ending, and they just threw that scene in there, so... I don't know. It's like they filmed that scene for the middle of the movie, they just threw it in the end to end the movie. That's how I felt. And also, there are a few funny sabotage scenes where the family tries to sabotage the fraternity tries to sabotage the family, and those scenes were kind of glossed over. They sped through they were in the beginning of the movie, they just kind of went through them very quickly, and I wish they would have, you know, shown more of those kinds of scenes. The movie's kind of short, which is fine. But in the end, that's how I felt about Neighbors, guys. It's not a great, outstanding comedy, but it is very entertaining, and it's very enjoyable for a summer comedy. And that's enough for me to recommend the movie to you guys. So in the end, like I said, 8.5 out of 10, guys. Pretty enjoyable movie. I would say see it, pay full price to see it. I think you guys would have a very fun time at the movie. If you like Seth Rogen, I think you'll like it. If you like Zac Efron, I think you'll like it. Yeah, so that's how I feel about Neighbors. 8.5 out of 10. If you guys did see the movie, let me know what you thought of it down below. Did you like it? Did you like Seth Rogen? Do you like Zac Efron? Usually, let me know what you think about that as well. And what is your favorite comedy of all time? Let me know about that down below. What's your favorite party comedy? Mine is, without a doubt, Animal House. Without a doubt. So thank you guys a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. Hope you enjoyed the movie. Bye, guys.